Now in its 10th season, Bar Rescue has observed Jon Taffer visiting bars all across the country and helping people give their business new life. The host joins me now ahead of the season 10 premiere. Good morning, Jon. How are you?
Good morning, Blake. Nice to talk with you.
Nice to talk with you. So, Jon, why were you interested initially in helping people restore and reimagine their bars?
Well, it's what I did for a living before television. I owned a consulting company, and we created bars and restaurants for people. And we didn't use the word rescue then. We called them turnarounds. And we would turn around failing businesses for a living. And I was giving a speech at an industry convention, and somebody came up to me one day and said, "Hey, man, you should be on television." And that's how the TV happened. But it's actually quite authentic. It's what I do for a living. I just tend to have more time to do it. A Bar Rescue, it's a 60-day project, Blake, that I do in 4 days. That's why I'm a raving maniac, because everything is so compressed and puts so much pressure on me.
Sure. Well, hey, that makes a lot of sense. And it's neat that you were able to bring in something that you were already passionate about and just have cameras kind of following the journey. Now, obviously, each episode and each story is kind of so special and unique in its own way. But is there a bar or an episode in the last 10 seasons that maybe just stands out to you for whatever reason that may be, whether it was super gross or the people were just really far off, or however you kind of want to tackle that?
Yeah, the ones that have a family dynamic that I can change are the most powerful. One comes to mind of two twin brothers in Kansas City, but in their 50s. Don't talk to each other, but they own this bar 50. So they're in the room at the same time, but they do not talk to each other. Haven't had a holiday meal together in 9 years. At the end of Bar Rescue in 4 days, they were talking to each other in the bar. But Blake, 2 months later, I get an email of a picture of them having a holiday meal together with their families. That's the power of Bar Rescue. Another one comes to mind, Characters. That was a completely distraught family. And the dynamic was killing them. The children felt like failures, and the parents were disrespecting the children, and everybody was disrespecting each other. And now we've solved that family issue, and they're opening their 4th location. They're called Moonrunners, is the name of their restaurants in the Carolinas. So those personal successes are what mean so much to me.
Yeah, I think that's so special, especially from your perspective, to have that kind of impact, which leads me to my next question for you, what does it mean to you to have this real life impact on these bars owners, their families and employees? Because you just mentioned family dynamics, and in the screener I watched, we see this, married couple who's retired, moved to Tennessee, and their marriage is kind of in despair, the bar is definitely in despair, and you really give this family new life.
Yeah. Think about how powerful that hug was at the end of that episode, Blake, and the things they whispered into my ear during that hug. Thank you, Jon. You saved my marriage. You didn't just save my business. Thank you, Jon. You're the father I never had. I needed that. And the things they whisper. And what's interesting, Blake, is the ones that fight me the hardest are the ones that hug me the tightest in the end. So it inspires me to be even tougher next week.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like maybe the pressure or the weight, what if your advice and help actually does not help or maybe add to a bar thriving in the future? Is that a thought that crosses your mind when you're stepping into this process with these different bar owners?
Well, I think I've been doing it for so long now, over 40 years no, I'm very confident what I do, and I think the results sort of speak for themselves. So I go in with a lot of confidence, and I'll say it this way: I'm right, they're wrong. And I don't have the time to prove that I'm right.
Yeah.
But they've already proven that they're wrong. So I go in with that attitude, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, touche, makes sense. And you just touched on this a little bit with the hug comment there in the last question, but how are you able to kind of mix the oftentimes aggressive, tough love that we see in the first half of the episodes, mixed with the kind of more soft proudness and encouragement that we see from you shared in the second half of the episodes?
That's up to them. At some point, Blake, they start to turn around. They start to see, wow, Taffer's well-intended. Wow, he's making a difference. Wow, I like what he's doing, actually. Even though I might not like the way he's doing it, I like what he's doing. And at some point, their brain opens up. Once their brain opens up and they listen to suggestions and they accept criticism, I don't need to scream and yell anymore. I need to scream and yell to crack through and to create that opening that we can communicate through. And again, sometimes it happens sooner, sometimes it happens later. But thank God, I stay with it until it happens.
I like that, though, that you're still kind of putting the pressure and the weight on them, because that's how it should be. It's their business on the line. Now, we talked very in depth about kind of the impact and your kind of personal thoughts on the show, but what do you think maybe attributes to Bar Rescue's long-term success and return season after season? Because 10 seasons later, people are still invested. I mean, I remember watching this show years ago and now watching it, still.
Yeah, crazy 10 years. I think authenticity means a lot, Blake. I'm never ahead of the audience. I don't get pre-briefs. I don't do any of those kind of things. When I learn something, the audience learns it in real time. I think authenticity means a lot. And the fact that I really don't go there to rescue a bar, I accept that every failing business has a failing owner. If I don't fix that owner, I cannot fix the business. So building bars is easy. That I can do all day long. Fixing them is really the challenge. And that's humanity. Humanity's struggling. People that we can understand and relate to that are struggling. Their houses are on the line. Their children are disappointed in them. Their spouses and partners are disappointed in them. It's a terrible situation that these people are in. And when I'm dropped in, I'm their last chance, and they know that. And I take that very, very seriously, Blake, as you can see. That's why I'm so aggressive.
Yeah.
How dare me go there and not fight for them?
Yeah, I mean, it means a great deal. Yeah, absolutely. Final question for you, Jon. Is there anything that makes season 10 special or unique? Because I heard there might be some special appearances.
A couple, yes. We have Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC, who's a good friend who came on and helped me do Recon, which was great. But one of my favorite ever is Mercedes Varnado. And Mercedes is an actress and a wrestler, female wrestler, and she is tough. So her Recon is fantastic. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
All right, well, good stuff, Jon. Thank you so much for your time. Bar Rescue Season 10, Sundays on Paramount Network. Tune in and see lives change and bars change. Thanks, Jon.
Take care, Blake.